A lot of you may know me from one of my many series called Partner Shaming, which is the series where people secretly record and post whatever misdoings of their partner publicly to the internet to shame and roast them, but then expect a perfectly healthy and normal relationship afterward. This is oftentimes followed by what I like to call the "just kidding, we're fine" video, which is where the person who was originally trying to shame their partner but has then faced some kind of consequence. Maybe he found out about it and he wasn't supposed to. Maybe her shaming him so publicly has led to something worse, like maybe him losing his job or something. There's usually some kind of consequence, which leads to them making this video where they then explain, oh, you guys don't understand. You don't know him. He's actually a great guy, and it's actually you, the audience, who are the problem for completely misunderstanding this and being so mean. See, it was a silly joke, a silly tee-hee-ha-ha goof, and you guys are actually toxic, horrible people for coming after him like that. And this is such a trope that we see time and time again that the series is, as of today, at 81 episodes. I was gonna take a break from that series for a while and focus more on partner praising, but something about these recent events just made me feel a little cheeky and want to upload another one. What can I say? Even though there's absolutely no validity to the series whatsoever, you know, I just felt like throwing out another piece of absolutely made up and manipulated propaganda to push a pro-male patriarchal movement. That's what I've been doing all along. I'm going mask off, people. I'm really showing my whole booty here, alright? I'm coming clean. Truth of the matter is, you got me. I just hate women.
He's joking around. Feels so good when he jokes.
That's the easy way out, isn't it? Instead of, you know, maybe observing the fact that I'm only criticizing very, very, very specific women who the minority of the situation is what makes it so shocking. If this was the way that every woman acted, the series would not have any engagement. People would just be like, yeah, that's normal. That's just a day in the life. But it's so weird. It's so weird that people think that public humiliation is an acceptable way to just live in your relationships. If you're still lost as to like what an example of partner shaming looks like, even though you guys know I always think it's cringe when I watch my own stuff with you, we're going to do it again. We got to give you guys a little bit of context. So I just picked an episode of one of my partner shaming series that I think exemplifies what I'm trying to do here.
Starting to see so many haha my partner is injured and suffering partner shaming videos.
It's my husband. Just so you know, I've been cut open twice, 7 different layers, and I had to start walking 20 hours after I was cut open. This man said he broke his arm. The doctor said, sadly, it's just a muscle strain. Daddy! You okay?
Oh, that's cool, Candace. I'm a C-section mom, too. Weirdly, though, shaming my husband online to thousands of strangers hasn't really done anything to heal my scar or make the C-section unhappen, so... And I remember having to walk right after. That sucks. But you know what's also weird is when that happened, my husband didn't remind me that he was in a car accident where he lost his hearing and also had to relearn how to walk. It's almost like it's not a competition. So I guess I'm not really understanding why you decided you needed to make your husband look like a little bitch baby on the internet, but let's watch your follow-up video where you make it a lot worse for yourself. It says, the mosquito in question, the action that resulted in the emergency visit. So first of all, that is clearly not a mosquito, that is definitely a wasp, but hey, you're not an entomologist, we'll forgive you for that and move on to my next point. Your husband was attempting to defend your child. That is how he injured himself. He wasn't doing something stupid. He wasn't taking unnecessary risks. He was trying to defend your child from an aggressive insect, which resulted in a seriously painful muscle strain. But Candace, you decided that was too inconvenient. So inconvenient that he deserves to be denigrated by 1.4 million people on the internet for taking time out of your day for doing nothing wrong. Let's read the comments. I bet they're being real nice to him. This has to be satire. Why he thought he broke his arm. I've watched this 10 times. I still can't stop laughing. How did he think his arm was broken from that? Say psych right now. You win. He's a bigger man baby than my man baby, and my man baby is a pretty big man baby. I'm just saying. Girl, you really thought posting that was a flex? Oh, and my favorite, hope your wife is okay. So a bunch of people now think her husband is a failure and an embarrassment, right? But when you dive deeper into the comments, you actually get something a lot scarier. My dad shook someone's hand and was suddenly in excruciating pain. His hand was swelled and he thought something was broken. It was muscular and he still didn't know exactly what happened, but he was in a lot of pain. My friend got out of bed one morning, put her foot on the ground, and broke her foot. My mother-in-law also died from cancer after getting an x-ray for a broken arm. Turns out it was a tumor in her bone. My uncle coughed and broke his femur. Come to find out he had cancer. To which someone says, I've heard countless stories like this exactly. You girlies will really laugh at this stuff, but me, I am in my early 30s and I have just had 2 friends lose their husbands to cancer. When your partner is hurt and injured, no matter how annoying or inconvenient it might be for you, you support them. That is not your time to profit and get clout off of their misery and anguish. All I'm saying is, if that was the last video I ever made about my husband, I would hate myself. Get some perspective. But why am I even surprised that she did this when she's the same partner shamer who did this?
If I ever wake up at night, I've done this since Brady was a baby. I change a wet diaper. I take the diaper and I throw it at my
What's wrong?
Guys, he never noticed it.
He doesn't know. He has no idea.
Brady doesn't do it.
For years. Yikes, dude. Tell me you have zero respect for the man you married without telling me. This is not a flex to me. All I see is another brat with no respect who trapped a good man into a marriage because of the kids. Some of y'all might interpret this as marriage humor, but I talk to enough men who are trapped in emotionally abusive relationships every day to know what I'm really looking at here. Look out for the women who always seem to have their thumb on that record button. They will do you dirty. This is ironic, but I still mean that.
That is an example of a partner shaming video. That one, I don't think that I ever found a specific Just Kidding We're Fine video, but it is a family channel, and so she'll just regularly post things where she also makes him look good and just kind of like sweeps under the rug all the times that she like makes fun of him, because it's family humor, you guys. It's just jokes. It's all relatable stuff, you guys. Nothing to be upset about. Looking back, can I be a little bit harsh in my videos? I would say so. I would say I got a little bark going, maybe a little bite. However, if the criticism were hypothetically that I only take videos where a man is doing something bad and mean to the wife and then blame her for it, would that be accurate here? Can anyone in the chat tell me what the mean, bad, malintentioned, or otherwise neglectful act from the man was? What did he do wrong? Anyone? He existed, you're right. That was pretty f***ed up of him, honestly, now that I think about it. So, yesterday, I get an email, and by the way, definitely email me, lauren@advocate.net. Like, I read my emails. I'm always checking my emails, especially for, like, submissions, things that you guys want to hear about. I write back a lot. But I get an email from someone, and they go, hey, I thought you might want to hear this. Looks like you were mentioned on this podcast. I didn't know that they were going to hate on it at the time. I went into this with good intent until I saw what the podcast was. And then I knew they're not going to be saying nice things. And the reason that I knew this is because this was a person who I made a partner shaming episode about months ago. We're not going to say the podcast name or who these co-hosts are, because that, my friends, is called free publicity and unwarranted. So instead, we will just listen through my link so that they do not get the play. And we're just gonna dissect together. Thank you to the Fair Use Act for allowing me to do so without consequence. For the first half of the podcast, and how they even start talking about me, is they're dissecting this video, which I'm gonna watch with you guys because it's a great, first of all, it's a great partner shaming video. This is absolutely the kind of thing that I would cover. Caption reads, he tries. Haha. When you task your husband with picking up stamps for the Christmas cards. Okay, I don't think this is the exact one. The one they're describing was, I guess, he was in charge of putting the stamps on, and I guess he did them sideways. And one of the co-hosts ends up mentioning that apparently the picture on the stamp could have gone either way, so she could even kind of see why he did it. And the two of them are deciding and discussing, was it weaponized incompetence that he put the stamps on wrong? In both of these cases, I think it's fair that I got the wrong video because it's pretty much the same thing. He's given a task, and unbeknownst to him, he did it wrong. Obviously, because I'm a girl, I know what he did wrong, and it is that he picked America Freedom stamps instead of anything close to Christmas. A star, a pine tree. This is out of season and therefore a colossal failure. But really, of course, there's going to be those of us who have the take of it's not weaponized incompetence because it got done. The task is perfectly complete. The mail will send. This will not be sent back. I don't think I've ever once in my life gotten an envelope from someone that is a gift, a treat of tidings just for me that they spent money on to send me, and I decided to criticize the fact that their stamp is out of season. Have you? And what's funny too is, like, if I did get this card, I would just laugh because I would be like, oh, classic Uncle Gary. He loves America. Like, what? It's not hurting anybody. There's nothing really wrong with it. The comments are going pretty well for the husband. People are saying things like, let freedom ring.
You don't like America, why don't you get out?
The thing about this creator who hates me, okay, is we've covered a previous, like, alternate universe advocate, and this is another one. For as long as I've been aware of this channel, it's like we get sent the same thing, but whereas I will react assuming positive intent and trying to figure it out from a Hanlon's razor standpoint of, like, where was the miscommunication? Where was the misunderstanding here? She looks at it with, like, the very typical expected, in my opinion, laziest, lowest common denominator, thinking of, like, he must hate her. The reason he's doing this is because he hates his wife, and it's on purpose, it's with malice, it's to hurt her. Like, almost without fail, we will both get, like, these stamps, for example. And I'll be like, okay, he just loves America. He's just trying to add his touch. This is the way that everyone will know that Gary helped with the stamps. I'm looking at it like a silly goose. And this person will look at it and be like, so he hates you. He hates you, and he wants to take away every joy that you've ever sought in your life. He wants to shit on every parade you start. He wants to be the rain cloud above your head that storms on everything you do. And so, to find out that I got a little feature in this podcast, and look, okay, it's kind of like an Amber Heard Johnny Depp situation because they never name drop me. They never say the dadvocate. They don't name me specifically, but if someone's emailing it to me at lauren@dadvocate.net, they figured it out, didn't they? They can tell who it's about. Also, I really don't like to act like I'm this super unique person with these super unique concepts, but I would like to at least take credit for having began the partner shaming series. There wasn't anybody specifically targeting that issue before. I think that plenty of people have made stitches and reactions where they didn't use the exact words, but they were kind of calling out, it's kind of messed up to secretly record your partner, the person you're really supposed to be defending, and post it for all of us to judge your relationship. That's not a good idea. I think a lot of people have been well aware of this concept, and you know, the funniest part is, sorry for the spoilers, but these podcast hosts ruining my moment Dang it. I'm just kidding. Thank you for the super chat. Oh man, I don't remember where my train of thought was going. I remember I was telling you guys the spoiler about the fact that these podcast hosts, why did I say it like that? I think because of the Mawile comment. As a podcast. Hey, I'm walking here. I'm just trying to catch some partner shamers here. And you got me on your podcast. Okay, I have been yapping. Let's listen to my appearance in this podcast and laugh and laugh and laugh. Point out the irony and the hypocrisy and the blatant lies.
No, I think it's just what's socially acceptable. Because if she does,
You know,
if she were to do that,
You know, it's funny.
she'd be, yeah.
There's a big creator who has an account, calls herself a men's rights activist.
Huh?
Do I? No, let's pause here. Let's ask ourselves, why would this podcast host, when bringing me up, make sure that the very first thing that she says when describing me is the toxic lie that I describe myself as a men's rights activist? Let's really sit back and ask ourselves, why would this podcast host choose one of the most divisive and rage-inducing terms that she could possibly think of to claim that I describe myself as? I'll tell you why. This is a very popular and common narcissistic tool called poisoning the well. See, if this host's argument actually had any legs to stand on its own, she wouldn't need to do that. But because it doesn't, she has to resort to lazy, lowest common denominator tactics to try and trick her audience into thinking a preconceived notion so that she doesn't have to do any heavy lifting here. That way she can just talk shit and it can sound credible. After all, I'm just a no good, evil, self-proclaimed MRA, except, oh wait, I've literally never ever said that. Not once. I have never used that title. That is not a thing. You will not even find an AI-generated soundbite. Dude, you chose a term. If you would have been able to get away with using incel, it would have been that. They have to pick the nastiest sounding group to lump you in with right off the bat. So we have 2 sentences in. One of them is just an outright lie, and we're already using narcissistic tools. Okay, let's see where else this goes.
Calls herself anti-partner shaming,
That's true.
but it's only shaming men.
Point to Gryffindor.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, okay, never mind. We haven't gotten 2 sentences in quite yet. So far, we're just at a run-on sentence, but 50% of the run-on sentence is a lie. See, let's take a little gander throughout partner shaming history, shall we? And it's pretty plain to see, oh yeah, this is a time that I caught a man shaming his wife and reamed him out for it. Here's a time that I caught a man shaming his wife and I reamed him out for it. Nice. Here's a time that I caught a man shaming his wife and I reamed him out for it. There's the other one, the gamer husband who screams at his wife. I don't really like showing that one though, because that one just makes me so mad. That's a man that I sure laid into real hard. I like to think that part of all of our videos together shaming him is actually why he doesn't stream anymore. But I digress. Myth busted.
You butt-gusted!
Dang it, I messed it up.
But again, we have to keep lying because the argument doesn't work if we actually use the truth. We have listened to 1 sentence, of which 50% I have completely disproven already. Let's let them continue.
Yeah.
And you know what's really interesting is all of the videos that she does, it's when men do something really mean.
All of them. All of the partner shaming videos. A real sign of an intellectual, scholarly thinker to just start off the bat with narcissistic tools and empirical statements. Oh, she's so cute.
Or careless or rude. And then
they're always doing something bad, mean, careless, or rude.
You're a bad man. You're a very bad man.
women post it. And she calls that partner shaming. And it's like, okay, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I feel a little bit weird if your partner does something very bad to you.
Very bad.
Like what she talks about is like the videos where the house is wrecked. Like I was gone for 2 days and then the house is wrecked, or the kids were not taken care of and I came home to this. She'll put that online and be like, see, why could she's a partner shamer.
Spoiler alert, she leaves out the parts of these episodes where the wife who is gone for 2 days admits that she actually staged the entire scene and that her husband actually does more cleaning than she does.
When you ask your husband to watch the baby for 10 minutes so you can work out, obviously she's there. I pray my life is never like this. Being a single mom is easier. You deserve better. I'm sorry, what? You deserve a better partner. Serve him the papers, girl. That's grounds for dismissal. Girl, be for real.
Okay. The comments on TikTok are out of control. People are like ripping Nick apart, and I feel like I need to come to his defense. He took the kids to school so that I could stay home and exercise. I exercised for like 27 minutes, and it was the last 3 minutes, and I shot that video, and it was a joke.
Weird how that part got left out.
I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about
Keep
blaming
using that
her.
word. I don't know if that word means what you think it means.
I invented the term, so I think it means what I think it means.
Here's why I feel really weird about that is exactly what we're talking about. Most of the time when women post those, it comes off as them laughing about it, not in a serious and put down way. Isn't it? Oh my gosh, what a disaster. I guess I shouldn't go out of town again. Like it's sort of like it's dismissive of the situation, severity.
Right.
They aren't trying to shame their partners.
Right.
So now the argument is that I'm bullying these people because they're not trying to shame their partners. Ooh, woo.
It's like they are accidentally revealing oppressive ways they're being treated at home.
It's an accident, guys. They didn't mean to post their partner after secretly recording, after staging an entire scene that their partner wasn't even a part of, and then join in the malicious roasting of them for days, and many of them pinned it to the top of their profiles. It was all a series of accidents and whoopsies. Women are innocent. They would never do anything mean.
Which in that case, shut the up and don't blame her for partner shaming.
Yes.
Look at the situation. Don't be disingenuous and try to get views, you mother. I can't stand this woman.
Yeah, because it's the thing of and when you talk about the opposite, right? The partner shaming videos where men are it's to point at her and go, see, I told you she's a nag. See?
Right.
She showed her true colors.
For the real ones who have been there since day one, do I not beg you to send me male partner shames? When I find them, I cover them. Sometimes though, I don't have to cover them because they get so ratioed into oblivion when they do it. Sorry, but I just can't continue on without making the point and kind of addressing the elephant of the room of like, partner shaming is a women-led market. Let's just be honest. It's more socially acceptable and less frowned upon for women to shame their partners than men. There's a reason that we find more videos of women doing it to men, and it's not because I'm only looking for them, because I'm trying to target women to take down my own people. It's because we, as women, are enabling behavior that makes the rest of us look bad, and so I don't like that part. I don't want to be associated with that behavior, and I don't want fellow women enabling that to a point that people just expect that out of us. I don't want that. It's the same as you as a man are going to call out your brothers when they're making you as men look terrible, I would hope. So it's not men encouraging women to call out their husbands. Do you see what I'm saying? This isn't one of the many, many things that we can blame the patriarchy for. This is a women-led and women-enabled behavior for the most part. Absolutely, when a man is going, oh, my wife is such a net. Even in my own comments section, I just had a guy saying something like, oh, my wife would never do this. And I even said to him in my comment section, hey, no partner shaming here. That's your wife. Unfortunately, he said, you know what? You're right. Deleted his comment. It's really lazy to try and pretend like I'm only coming for women, like this is some kind of anti-woman campaign. I just wouldn't want this to happen to me. End of. Period. And I know for a damn fact they don't want this happening to them either. I'll just let them continue justifying how partner shaming isn't an actual problem. It's a healthy thing.
You know what I mean? See, it's like, no, that is intentionally humiliating. That is on purpose.
I agree. There is, it's so disingenuous to call those videos partner shaming. This really bothers me.
It's a buzzword. It's a buzzword that gets the views.
Right.
How did it become a buzzword? Let's look into the history of how did partner shaming become a buzzword? Did it become popular when consistently called out for the very real phenomenon that it is? Calling me disingenuous, either you haven't watched my videos at all, but you're choosing to comment on them, or you have watched them, but you're choosing to lie about the content. Either way, I don't think that disingenuous is the word you should be throwing around at anything but a mirror.
And look at this crummy way. It's like, look at how badly I'm being treated. And then she's like, oh yeah, you're going to go out and you're going to tell everybody how badly you're being treated.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, maybe I should be. Maybe everyone will tell me how bad this actually is. I will stop dismissing my own feelings.
Okay. So they're saying that partner shaming is fine because all it is people just telling others what bad things are happening to them. And to silence those is to silence victims. Okay. I see the narrative you're trying to set up here.
Right. And that's the thing. That's the thing too, is that like having these videos provides an amount of normalization where, to your point, there can be other women to go, wait, your husband does this too? We should like, can we figure out how to, and my thing is also like, men's rights activists drive me nuts for like clear.
Wait a minute.
So now they're trying to say that when women post partner shaming videos, filming their husband at their lowest, doing something cringy, doing something embarrassing, doing something lazy, whatever it is, as I've said before, in most partner shaming cases, rarely is the person being shamed completely innocent. Rarely have they done nothing wrong. The primary point of it is praise publicly, criticize privately. That's kind of always been the main point of it. But they're trying to suggest that actually partner shaming is a good way to handle your relationships, because they're trying to claim that what women do when they see these videos is first they relate and they feel compassion, and then they go, oh, well, now we can start thinking of solutions to this together. No, they don't. Not even one time, not even once, has there ever been a partner shaming video where a woman has gone, look at this disgusting, gross thing my husband has done, and the women have gone, well, you know what my husband and I ended up discussing? That really became quite a foundation to our marriage and brought a lot of understanding. No, that's not happening, and you darn well know it. All it is a divorce now, man baby. What a man child. I had a man baby like this, and don't you lie to anybody and say it's anything different. They're not up in those comments having Socratic seminars about how to improve their marriage. I'm disingenuous. Ladies.
But it's also drawing a party line of like, it's you versus me. It's us versus them. This particular creator says that is absolutely not what that's not what it's for.
Yes. Me addressing the fact that you are constructing a narrative designed for a large audience to specifically take your side and how that's wrong. I'm the one drawing the party line. I'm the one making it us versus them. Not the person portraying their partner in a horrible light so that they can receive validation and praise. That's an interesting take.
And trying to figure that out cooperatively, right? With the stamps, first of all, I really hope that no one is posting anything to the internet without checking with your partner first. If it's about your partner, you run it by your partner first. At the very base minimum, that was me personally before I became a clinician, but especially clinically, if you want a long-term relationship to last and you don't want to criticize your partner on an unregulated space available to the world, check with them first, God damn it, or don't post it, right?
Hell yeah!
That was well timed. You guys all heard that, right? You heard her co-host just completely agree with the premise of my series, right? Like, what does she think I'm covering? I can just imagine as soon as the co-host started going off into, well, yeah, of course it's wrong to secretly record your partner and then post it without their permission. The lady who hates me, I could just see her like kicking her under the table, like, you're not supposed to say that. That's, because you're agreeing with her now. Stop it. Because of course you agree. And what do you think I'm covering? You think I'm covering cases where the woman is filming the man at his embarrassing or trashy or whatever it is, and then checking with him to make sure he's cool with it? And then he's like, oh yeah, of course, I love being called a man baby by thousands to millions of people in the comments. No, I love that, babe. No, I've literally covered cases where the woman is like, I made a secret account and blocked him to post this because I know he'd be really hurt if he found out.
I'd be heartbroken if he saw this. I actually had to block him from this account. I feel so terrible.
And okay, you can argue, oh, well, if they're dating someone who's really dangerous, then of course, them speaking their truth would be dangerous, but they deserve an outlet. Like, no, guys, I assure you, like, that is not the situation.
Not tidying up until my boyfriend does. Oh, the horror. Like, huh? He's just putting his clothes out. Oh, there's a glass of water. This one, I don't understand what's wrong at all, honestly. I'm lost. No shoes. Found them. Oh, but there's no room. Where do you expect him to put them?
She's dragging the dude for something she knows is not a big deal, and she's embarrassed because she actually wants this relationship to work, but God, she can't help trying to suck out that moment of validation from the internet. Like, it's a sickness, you guys.
This is a sickness of the highest order.
People who record their partner and post it to the internet so that we can all get their opinion, aka their validation, because they're only getting one side that is spoon-feeding them a specific narrative. They do not need excuses, validation, justifications, and get out of jail free cards. They do not. They are not innocent, poor baby victims in this world. and you know it. The lady who threw her diapers at her husband's face, really? You're gonna sit here and tell me that she's a victim who needed to get that out to the world to feel heard? Really? And yet, here you are, pretending like the very concept that you just dissed is your own idea.
You know? It's just, it's undercutting.
I can hear how pressed this host still is that her co-host accidentally agreed with me. Didn't you hear the aggravation and that? Oh, she's still seething. This did not go how she wanted it to. Thank you so much, DBNX1701. But it's not true that most women hate men. Most of us like men, truly. Truly, it's just, you have to understand that, like, we are drowned out by the loud minority. But the women who like and love men, like, they're out on the farm, taking care of chickens, reading books, like, they're not involved in this stupid bullshit internet drama. But the ones who are the ones who hate men, yes. The ones who buy podcast equipment are the ones who hate men, yes. Like, because the women who don't hate men, the women who actually like men, the women who have a baseline level of empathy for men, also know that if they express that baseline level of empathy for men, they will be called a pick-me by other women. Not all other women, not most other women, but enough women for it to feel uncomfy, man. Trust me, the amount of times I've been called a pick-me, it's enough, but it is such a vast minority of the comments I get. I get such amazing, lovely, delightful comments and emails to the point where I am so easily able to just dust that shit off. Does not faze me at all, okay? So that's the way you gotta look at it. Like, yeah, these man haters are loud and their voices are so scratchy and annoying. Friggin' banshees, but look, it's not most of us. It's not. It's really not.
Men's Rights Act, that woman can get... it's just, it's so divisive. It's so pick-me. It's so divisive, and it does nothing for anybody.
Isn't this so interesting? How it's always, we women, we empower other women until the very moment that you show empathy toward men, and then you're a pick-me, and then you're just a stupid grifter who can get. And let's talk about that turn of phrase for a second, shall we? Because there was a certain time in history when the host of this podcast, after making a slew of demands toward me all night long, including demands that I somehow control other content creators' content, making videos about her, I remember this creator insinuating that my comments about her videos, which was just me calling out partner shaming as I do, were violent. Was never able to cite anything that I said or directed or anything that actually was violent. But let's examine the turn of phrase, get f***ed. What do you mean by that? Where does that phrase come from? When you tell someone that you want them to get f***ed, I'm assuming you're not like trying to be my wingman and that you like actually want me to enjoy consensual, mutually loving coitus with my partner. I'm assuming that's not what you mean. So then is what you're saying, you women who love women and want to empower other women, you're not visually fantasizing about me being taken against my will just because you disagree with some videos that I've made, would you? Because that sounds a little violent. Oh, but it's okay when you do it. I just think it's interesting that when I say that privately and secretly recording your partner and then posting it publicly to the internet behind their back is wrong, I'm an MRA. But when you guys say it, it's cool. It's okay when it's your idea. I got it. I got it. I don't know how much more this podcast really goes on. I think she says I can get to one more time. Let's find out.
What do they call it? It's an echo chamber. It's
that
echo chamber.
It
That's my favorite part. I want to make this a sound bite. Wait for it.
Undercutting men's rights act. That woman can get. It's just.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
It's so divisive. It's so pick me. It's so divisive, and it does nothing for anybody. It's a what do they call? It's an echo chamber. It's an echo chamber.
It's an echo chamber. It is. It's an echo chamber. It is. It's an echo chamber. It is. Can we turn that into a song? You can't make this up. I can't even roast them better than they're roasting themselves. Is there anything more comical and perfect than she's in an echo chamber? She is, isn't she?
Your point is so valid. It does nothing for everybody, for anybody.
That's so funny. She creates echo chambers, doesn't she? She does. You're so valid. You're so valid and right for that. Oh, I actually love this podcast. This is my favorite. Thank you so much for just turning all the lights off when you turned your microphones on and just removing every atom between your left and right ears so that I could have this moment to laugh. Oh, God, this is funny.
And that's what these people do. They're like, ugh, women are always getting so pissed off for no reason.
Yeah.
But
have I ever said anything remotely like that? I'll give you the brief story of why this person hates me so much too. What their partner shaming episode was. I made a video wherein I thought that she only was covering part 1 of a 2-part series on purpose. I made this video, like I said, I was responding to, and it was in the partner shaming series. She covered the part where it looks like the husband is not helping her whatsoever, and in her video she's like, how much you want to bet he never ever helps? And I had reason to believe that she had seen the second part where he absolutely helps with everything, because she had directly responded to people's comments saying like, hey, there's a part 2, and she was like, oh, well, I don't care because my point still stands. He should have helped in the beginning. So I make this video. She reaches out to me. She hates it. She's like, I didn't know about part 2. I didn't know about part 2. She blows me up like all day about this. Finally, you know I don't ever do this, but she's a big creator, okay? She's got 500,000 followers. She's got a little blue check mark. I decided to play nice. I said, okay, I'll delete the video. I apologized to her in private. I said, you know what? I see what you're saying. I did not give you the benefit of the doubt. I should have, in my video, given you the benefit of the doubt and said she may not have seen the part 2. I should have done that. Because I did not do that, I will remove the video. She goes, great. But your apology is not enough. You need to also make a story or a formal post apologizing to your audience. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that seems really unnecessary. But she's blowing me up all day. At the time, I'm working a 40-hour job, okay? At the time I'm working, this woman does not have a job. She's not working unless you count content creation, but not like this. She's not in an office being interrupted by having her messages blown up. She's making all these demands. I go, you know what? Fine, I'll issue a public apology. I put up a little story. I go, you know what, guys? I didn't give her the benefit of the doubt. She probably didn't see part 2. I apologize. That was lazy of me. She goes, you know what? That's not good enough, though. You need to clarify that apology a little bit more. It's just the way that you typed it. I don't really like it. That's not good enough for me. But now I'm like, what in the actual... And I'm like, okay, I put out a second statement clarifying even further. Okay, when I said this, this is what I meant. I just want to let you guys know I'm really, really sorry. Continues to blow me up manically. I am talking a manic episode all night long. Not only this, but she's making video after video after video about me, calling me a liar, saying how dare you make people believe that I didn't know, or I knew about this part 2 and I didn't know about this part 2. Huge ass episode. I'm stressed, to be honest with you guys. Like this is honestly like stressing me out. Like I'm having to use sick time at work to deal with this because I'm like, dude, like I am getting blown up. I'm getting threatened. Like shit is going down. And so I'm like, please stop making videos. Like and by the way, she's making demands of me. She's like, never ever ever mention me again and never ever message me. And I'm like, okay, I won't. But she's going off and off and off, making video after video. And guys, like I haven't talked about this for so long because I just took my licks, dude. I took my licks in silence about this for so long. I just let her go to town with all of her friends, calling me a pick-me, saying that people want to beat me up, and if they ever see me, it's on sight. I'm just dealing with it because I'm like, she's clearly having a mental breakdown, and I just don't want to make this any worse than it is. But you know what? There comes a point where you're not going to shut me up. Okay? Because this creator then went on to do this to several other large creators after me, and that's my fault. And this is a direct consequence of women enabling other women's erratic, unhinged, audacious behavior. Is because I apologized to this woman and kept going and kept letting her shit all over me and take advantage of me and manipulate me and convince me that she wasn't a liar. She went on to do this to more creators, harass them, blow them up, lead entire hate campaigns, stress them out while they're at their full-time jobs. One of whom is a freaking firefighter. Imagine being up till 2 a.m. with this crap as a firefighter, knowing you gotta go to work at 4 a.m. the next day. So I know that there's a lot of people who are like, don't give these people free publicity. And you know what? I'm not name dropping. No one's going to their podcast. I haven't said anything directed to their pages yet. But just like I knew who you were talking about, and plenty of people listening to your podcast knew who you were talking about, people will probably know who I'm talking about. There have been many victims under this person. So for me to call you out a little bit on the fact that you completely agree with me, yet are trying to paint me as this manosphere radical loser, when we're on the same side, goofy. Absolutely goofy. When you told me that I need to never talk about you ever again and I need to leave you alone, and here we are, I'm on your podcast. Really?
I had a video one time that I did that was similar where it was an explanation video because I can't do satire, and having the context of, we decided that it was my son's birthday, and that night we had done all the birthday celebrating. That night he wanted to go to play Warhammer, and I was like, yeah, you're good. Go. The number of people in the comments that were like, what a piece of shit dad. Not what, like, of course the 9-year-old's not going to say anything about dad missing his birthday. And I was like, there's too much context that's missing that I'm not comfortable subjecting my husband to. Like, this is not, I didn't ask for you to give me relationship advice. I don't need help. Like this, no. And I just deleted it because.
Oh, so you recognized that when you posted something that put your partner in a bad light, you didn't like it because you recognized that it put him onto undue scrutiny that would probably cause him a great deal of pain. Yeah, this is very interesting. Her co-host is not doing her any favors because she started this conversation like, oh, I know this MRA who I can't stand, like just waiting for everybody to blindly agree with her. And then as she explains what I do more often, her co-host is like, well, yeah, of course it would be terrible for someone to secretly record their partner. And of course, if people started scrutinizing him and calling him all kinds of horrible things in the comments, it would make me feel terrible. And I bet you the host of this podcast is just sitting there like, God damn it, this is not what was supposed to happen.
Like, that's not worth the, pain and misunderstanding. Like, it's not, the internet's not real. It's not real. It's all made.
This is just so funny because here she is going, partner shaming is not worth it. And here's Laura, the host of the show, whoever this host is, going,
yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
I don't know
that
why I
is
said
always
that, except to say, yeah, I've been there. Where
aggressively moves to change the conversation. It's interesting how as soon as the co-host starts to continue to agree with me, suddenly it's like, well, anyway, I don't want to talk about this anymore, actually, well, I'm done with this conversation. I think that's about as much attention as that topic deserves. Likes, subscribes, comments, shares, all worth its weight in gold. Seriously, it means the world to me, really helps my channel stay afloat, keeps me able to do what I do, even if some corny, silly goofballs on the internet don't think that what I'm doing is valid. You do. And you're the ones that I actually like and care about. So keep it up. Keep up those likes and comments. I'll go back and read more comments later, so don't think I'm missing any just because you're coming in late now. And I will look forward to seeing you